Welcome everyone to another CTC software webinar. My name is Chris Bircher, Director of Technical Services here at CTC, and today we are going to discuss a nice little tool from our BIM Project Suite called Detail Link. Before we begin though, I want to encourage everyone to ask questions using the questions panel if you're attending the webinar live, and I will do my best to answer those throughout the presentation. If I don't get to them, I'll make sure to answer them all at the end. This is also going to be recorded and be available on our YouTube channel shortly after the presentation is completed. With that said, let's get going. So, all too frequently, as many of you guys may know still, that we actually still are getting a lot of DWGs. And DWG files and CAD drawings themselves are still very prevalent in our industry. As much as we'd like to say that, you know, we've Revitized ourselves, AutoCAD still has a place. Or there's still a lot of people migrating to Revit and starting out fresh. And there's going to be a hybrid project. We're going to use some Revit and some AutoCAD. More often than not, the AutoCAD part will largely be details. And we need to find a way to get those details into our Revit projects. Whether it's for a hybrid project and a part Revit, part CAD submittal, or we're using it to convert and Revitize our details into Revit details. So this tool, Detail Link, is going to assist with putting this all together and helping you get those DWGs into your Revit models. So today what we're going to do and what I'm going to show you is the app itself, how it's laid out, how everything works. And we're going to go through the process a couple of different times. It's a fairly simple product. It's pretty light, not a lot to it. We're just importing or linking CAD drawings. So it's not going to be too much. And then I'll show you where to get your hands on it and how to get some additional resources. So with that said, we're just going to jump right into it. There's no PowerPoint on this one. We're just going to go right into the product itself. So first off, I want to show you and remind some of you how this process works. And if you're new to Revit, now you get to see the workflow that you are stuck with currently without a plugin. And then I'll show you how it works with the plugin. So if you've got a detail library, and chances are you've got a bunch of details, and in my case, I've got a few stored here on my C drive, as so. And these are all individual DWGs to be used, whether it's inserted as a block into my project, exploded, and tinkered with inside of AutoCAD, or I could have them hosted on a tool palette, drag and drop into my project at any given moment. In this case, it's nice because I've got individual details that I can now port over into Revit to be used on a project or to be Revitized. So I've already got a project file open, so this would be my hybrid approach where I have a Revit project, but I'm new to Revit, so I don't have time to do all my details that I've already done after using CAD for 20 years. So that process is this. To create a detail in Revit that's considered a detail and properly supports this, and you want to create a drafting view. So from the View tab, there's our drafting view button right here in the middle. You create a drafting view, give it the proper name, whatever the detail type is. I'm just going to call it wall type. Wall types, type A, we'll say. Scale can be determined now or after the fact, doesn't matter at this stage. And it's going to create a blank empty view for you, bundled into your drafting views bucket wherever that may live. I've got custom sorting in my browser, so it's up here. Now we bring the CAD drawing in. There's two different ways to bring a CAD drawing in, linking or importing. My personal preference in this specific example would be to link it because I don't want to explode the drawing. I'm not changing anything about it. I want to take it as is so that I can quickly turn around and put it on a sheet. So I'm going to link it. And that's kind of on your live Revit project files, whether it's a detail or a floor plan as a background, link it. You don't want someone accidentally exploding this and polluting your Revit drawings, because it gets messy if you do that, as many of you have found out. So I've got partition type. I think this is my A types. So I'm going to bring this in, and I've got my import options down here for colors. I'll just switch into black and white. All the layers, unit detection is good, and call it a day. Bring it in. It's now being linked to this drafting view, and now I can add any additional notes or what have you for this particular drawing in this view, build my details sheet, drag and drop the view onto my sheet, and we're good to go. And I've got nothing to worry about. And the process for importing is almost exactly the same. The only difference is if that CAD file changes for whatever reason, I can't just reload it. So I lose it out at that point. Here's my detail. It took a little longer to load than I would have expected, but that's okay. Here it is. If I have a sheet of details down here at the bottom, whoa. Here's my details sheet. Drag and drop, click to place, move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. All right, so now we've got it linked in, it's on the right sheet, we're good to go. So now what I can do, so that's the workflow, right? And if you do this, I've got however many details on this sheet, here. Most detail libraries are hundreds and hundreds of details. That could take a very long time just to get a project stitched together. And now what about the conversion process, right? If I need to convert this, now I'm putting in my detail components and I'm redrawing stuff, or maybe your workflow is to explode it in a Scratch file and put it back together with Revit items, purge out the AutoCAD stuff, and now it's saved into your detail file. That's fine too. But again, getting it set up to do that per task, you still have to build out each view individually, one at a time, just like I showed you here with this. Whether you're using import or link, is very project specific or need specific. With our tool, Detail Link, right here on the CTC BIM Project Suite tab, bundled under free tools here, this tool is going to help you batch import or batch link those views, build the drafting views for you, and get you up and running 100 times quicker than you ever could by hand. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, in my current project, I'm just going to link in a bunch of details so that I can go ahead and finish populating my detail sheet. I'm going to hit Add Details. So, well, let me take a step back. This is the UI, right? There's not much here. We've merged the link and import dialogues from Revit into one space. And then you can add as many DWGs here as you want. If you have image files that you need to bring into for whatever reason that need to be traced, or part of a schematic set, you can do that here as well. View creation and naming options here for the drafting views themselves. DWG link or import options, the same for both, and then your image linking options. So it's pretty straightforward. One window. I'm going to first link all my stuff in here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Add Detail Files. I'm going to go search this folder because that's my detail folder. It gives me everything I need. So for this example, I am going to bring in all of these details here. I'm going to jump down here and grab, let's see, where'd they go? Here we go. We'll grab these for mounting details, and I'll bring my door details in here and these guys here, and we'll call it good. So I'm going to add those to my bucket list down here, hit OK. Specify how I want to build the drafting views into my project. I'm going to have it automatically create new drafting views with the name of the DWG that's being linked to it. So I'm going to get drafting views in my project over here called drafting view 2-hour window at jam, or whatever the name is for any of these. Right? That's how it's going to be labeled, which is perfectly fine. I can, if I already built the drafting view for whatever reason, I can select an existing drafting view for each one and kind of map them up. Or I can define unique names for each new drafting view for each file. So if I don't want it to be drafting view dash door frame general notes, I just want door frame general notes, I can custom name this for each drafting view. Now, so that's entirely up to you which one you want to use. I'm going to keep it nice and quick and just do the automatic create. I'm going to link everything in. Positioning is fine. Colors, I'm going to use it right away on this project, so I'm going to convert everything to black and white. And I'm done. So now I click my import link button and away we go. And you can watch this list populate and dun, 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 dun. It just takes a matter of seconds. And I've got all 17 drafting views created. Each has the details linked in just like I wanted. And now I can turn around, put these on my sheet, lay them out exactly how I need them laid out, and move on with the rest of my tasks for the day. Or, oops, I didn't mean to open that, and so on. Whoop, that's a big one. We're not going to do that one. That's also a big one. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so you get the idea, right? I should use a different title block, but that's okay. Well, that one's even bigger. All right. So now that's the linking method. If I needed to import these, because I'm going to build my own detail library, right? Start a new project. Got nothing in it. Maybe it's based off your template, so at least you have your line styles and text styles and a lot of your annotation families, right? And we import all this stuff in. So with the same free tool in Detail Link, I'm going to grab from the same pool. I'm going to grab from the same pool of details. I'm just going to grab something different this time. And instead of those, I'm going to grab my elevator details here in this case. Hit OK. This time I'm doing the import. And that's really the only difference here. And because I want to make sure I know what I'm working with, I'm going to set this to preserve my color schemes and hit go. Again, automatically creating everything for me. This time, because I don't have my views sorted in a custom fashion, I get them down here underneath my elevation view. So I'm just going to minimize all these real quick. Here we go. Here's my detail in my new start, kind of scratch brand new project. And now I can do what I want with it. If I'm going to do the conversion, there's a couple of ways to do that conversion. One is to start tracing it effectively with detail components and detail lines and your own filled regions and whatnot. But if you're just trying to hurry up and get this done quickly, maybe you don't have all the proper detail components yet. If you're new to Revit and you haven't been using it very long, you may not have all that stuff. So you can explode the file, with either a partial explode at first so that you get regions like this, or you can do a full explode. Kind of up to you how you want to handle that. And now you can go ahead and begin the process of swapping the direct, filled regions that came from the CAD file to the filled regions that are a part of your standard, right? So I'm just going to use this ortho crosshatch because I do not have a sand pattern here. So I'm just going to do my conversion like this. Then I can grab all the line work and switch all those to my Revit line styles instead of being on kind of these CAD layers. And let's see, let's do a detail. Then this should go to probably thin lines. the text styles here can go to my text styles here. Oop, no. Now I got, see, now that it did that, now I got to worry about the scale. Now I'm using my text, not the text from AutoCAD. Bump it up to, oop, not that high, maybe a 1/2 inch then. Nope. No, oh, we're going the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. 6 inch, okay, there we go, 3 inch. That looks better. Now I can move on. I've got my detail, we're done. I can now purge out the AutoCAD stuff, and I am left with a Revitized detail and its simplest form. Okay, so you got a couple of options depending on your needs of the product. Do I need to link them in to build my hybrid project, or am I going to build my detail library in Revit and I can import those in and either explode them or trace them? You know, it's in a separate file, and then I can now use that for projects in the future. So you've got some options. The last piece I want to show you with this tool, because it's a feature that you should know about, is the ability to bring the image files in. I can add images in the same fashion that you would add a detail. Grab the, you know, whether it's a rendered image or maybe it's another detail that needs to be traced for whatever reason, it needs to be a part of a particular set of your project, whether it's, you know, schematic set and you're going to update them later on. You're kind of, you know, you're just in a pinch. You get some image placement options. How do you want to place it? What's the resolution? Hit import. It's going to bring them in. I get the views for those just like I would with the others. And here you go. I've got really kind of grainy image files. These aren't the best, so my resolution is not the greatest. And that's my fault. I just didn't pick very good JPEGs to work with here. But you get the idea. And then these can be rotated, and you can do whatever you want with them at this point. All right. And again, Detail Link is a free tool located on the free tools pull down, or one of the lighter shaded tools here. First one in the light green area of the BIM Project Suite. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up. And now what I want to do is kind of give you an idea of where you can find everything. So I'm going to pull up our website here, ctcsoftware.com. If you are looking to get more information about BIM Project Suite and Detail Link specifically, come here, go to our products page for BIM Project Suite. You can see a bit about the suite as a whole. Now, Detail Link is free. It's part of the free tools. So if that's all you're looking for are the free tools, go ahead and download it, and Detail Link is yours to use as long as you'd like. The price doesn't apply in this case. It's only for the licensed tools where you need to worry about paying. So we've got some other good tools in here that you should look at if you're interested. But information about Detail Link here, you can also go to our YouTube channel to find out more about Detail Link, BIM Project Suite, and a bunch of our other tools. We've got videos for everything up here. So if there's anything you're interested in, you can check it out here as well if you want more information about something. And you can always reach out to us at CTC by contacting a sales rep. You can also email us at info@ctcsoftware.com. One of us on our staff will get a hold of you. We'll reach back out and answer any questions that you may have. That pretty much sums it up for today. So I want to thank you all for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to talking to you again soon in our next presentation. Thank you all.